This love story is going to shock the entire world. My beloved soul, something within you paused for a reason, not by chance, not by accident, but because the universe has been gently trying to reach you. This moment, right here, is not ordinary. It carries a hidden message meant only for your soul. If you're feeling this pull, this quiet curiosity in your heart, it's because a deeper truth is finally ready to reveal itself to you. There is something sacred unfolding behind the scenes of your life, something you were never fully told, something hidden in plain sight. The energy around you has been shifting, aligning pieces you thought were lost, guiding you toward a realization that may change the way you see love, destiny, and even your own story. You may have felt confusion, distance, or unanswered questions, but what if all of it was part of a divine design? Take a breath, and listen closely. Because what is about to be revealed is not just another story. It is a soul recognition, a truth written long before this moment. The universe does not rush, but it never delays either. And right now, it is whispering something powerful into your life. This love story is going to shock the entire world. Yes, not just any love story. This is something deeper, something karmic, something destined. A connection that may have felt impossible, distant, or even broken at times, but in truth, it has been quietly evolving, protected by divine timing. What you thought was an ending was only a pause. What you felt was silence was actually preparation. There is someone, or something, that carries a mirror to your soul. And whether you have met them already or are about to cross paths, the truth is this connection was never random. It was written in the unseen layers of existence, guided by forces far greater than logic or circumstance. And now, the universe is gently pulling the veil away. You are being called to trust the signs, trust your intuition, trust the feeling that something extraordinary is about to unfold. Even if it doesn't yet make sense, even if your mind questions it, your soul already knows. That quiet knowing inside you. That's your truth awakening. This revelation is not here to confuse you, it's here to liberate you. To show you that love, real divine love, does not disappear. It transforms, it grows, and it finds its way back when the time is right. And your time is closer than you think. So stay with this message until the very end, because every word carries a piece of what your soul has been waiting to hear. If this message resonates with you, don't ignore it. Like this video, share it with someone who needs this divine reminder, and subscribe to this channel to stay connected with the truths the universe wants you to remember. And most importantly, watch this complete video, because what comes next may bring you the clarity your heart has been searching for all along. Dear one, before we dive in, I need to share something extraordinary that most people don't know. Groundbreaking research shows that many of us who didn't grow up wealthy have a shrunken hippocampus, a tiny part of the brain that blocks the activation of what some scientists call the billionaire brain wave. This means attracting the life, love, or wealth you've always dreamed of can feel almost impossible, until now. Thanks to a recently uncovered method backed by research, it's possible to stimulate this part of your brain in just 7 minutes each morning using a simple sound frequency. People who've tried it report subtle shifts in mindset, clarity, and even opportunities flowing into their lives more easily. Click the link in the description or pinned comment to explore this 7-second ritual. It could be the key to activating your billionaire brain wave and opening doors you never thought possible. This love story is going to shock the entire world. Listen closely, for this is not a tale written by human hands, nor is it bound by time, distance, or logic. This is a whisper carried through the fabric of existence itself, a revelation I now place gently into your awareness. You have searched for love in places where echoes fade, where promises tremble, and where certainty dissolves like mist at sunrise. Yet what you are about to witness is not the kind of love you have been taught to expect. It will not follow the rules you know. It will not arrive in the form you have imagined. And that is precisely why it will awaken something within you that has been asleep for far too long. There exists a connection, already set into motion, long before you became aware of it. Two souls, moving through separate storms, guided by invisible threads that not even they fully understand. They have felt each other without meeting. They have known each other without speaking. And even now, as you read these words, the universe itself is quietly aligning moments, paths, and choices to bring them closer. But here is the mystery that will shake you: this love story is not just about them. It is about you. Yes, you, who pause to read this. You are not separate from this unfolding. You are a witness, but also a participant. For the same force that draws those two souls together is the same force that has been guiding your own heart, even in times when you believed you were lost or forgotten. You have questioned why certain people entered your life only to leave. You have wondered why timing never seemed to favor you. You have felt the weight of silence when you longed for connection. And in those moments, you may have thought that love had overlooked you. But I tell you this now: nothing was random. Every delay, every absence, every unanswered question has been shaping your capacity to recognize a love that is real, a love that does not confuse, does not diminish, and does not disappear when tested. The story unfolding is layered with truths that cannot be seen at once. There are hidden intersections, moments yet to happen that will feel strangely familiar when they arrive. There will be a glance that feels like a memory, a conversation that feels like a continuation rather than a beginning. And when it happens, it will not shout. It will not demand attention. It will simply feel right. But before that moment arrives, there is something you must understand. Love, in its purest form, is not something you chase. It is something you become ready for. The world has taught you to seek validation, to measure worth through attention, to confuse intensity with depth. But the love that is being prepared, the one that will shift everything you thought you knew, requires something different. It requires stillness. It requires honesty. It requires you to release the versions of yourself that were built out of fear, expectation, or the need to be accepted. Because when these two souls finally stand in the same moment, they will not meet as incomplete beings searching for fulfillment. They will meet as individuals who have faced themselves, who have learned to stand alone without losing hope, who have discovered that love is not about filling emptiness but about expanding truth. And this is why it will shock the world. Not because it is dramatic or loud, but because it will quietly defy everything people thought love had to be. There will be no games. No uncertainty disguised as mystery. No confusion mistaken for passion. Instead, there will be clarity, the rare and powerful clarity that many have forgotten is even possible. And when others witness it, they will feel something stir within them. Some will be inspired. Some will be unsettled. Some will question their own choices, their own beliefs about love. Because real love, when seen, does not simply exist, it reveals. It reveals what has been missing. It reveals what has been misunderstood. It reveals what has been waiting. You may feel a pull in your chest right now, a quiet recognition that this message is not coincidence. That feeling is not something to ignore. It is a reminder that you are already connected to something greater than what you can see. There are moments approaching in your life that will feel like turning points. Conversations that seem ordinary at first but will linger in your mind. Decisions that appear small but will shift your path in ways you cannot yet predict. Encounters that will challenge your understanding of timing, chance, and destiny. Do not rush them. Do not try to control them. Allow them to unfold. Because the more you try to force what is meant to arrive naturally, the more you distance yourself from the very thing you seek. The love that is coming into alignment is not fragile. It does not require constant reassurance. It does not depend on perfection. It is steady, grounded, and deeply aware. And yet, there is a test. Not a test designed to make you fail, but one meant to reveal your readiness. There will be a moment when doubt appears. A moment when old fears try to return. A moment when you are tempted to retreat into what is familiar rather than step into what is true. That moment will define everything. Will you trust what you feel, even if it challenges what you have known? Will you remain open, even when vulnerability feels uncomfortable? Will you recognize love when it does not come wrapped in chaos? These questions are not meant to pressure you. They are meant to awaken you. Because the truth is, you already carry the answer within you. You have always known, deep down, what real love feels like. Not the surface version, not the temporary excitement, but the deeper sense of peace, of alignment, of quiet certainty. And when you encounter it, there will be no need to convince yourself. No need to analyze every detail. No need to question whether it is real. You will know. But until that moment arrives, there is something you must release. The belief that love is scarce. The belief that you must compete for it. The belief that you are somehow behind, or that time is working against you. None of these are true. Love does not operate on human timelines. It does not measure itself against others. It does not compare journeys. It arrives when alignment is complete. And alignment is happening even now, in ways you cannot yet see. There are things being moved, rearranged, and prepared beyond your awareness. Paths crossing, decisions shifting, energies aligning. What feels like delay is often protection. What feels like distance is often preparation. So do not lose faith. Do not close your heart. Do not convince yourself that what you truly desire is out of reach. Because the story that is unfolding is not just about two souls finding each other. It is about a truth being revealed to all who are willing to see it. A truth that love, when real, does not confuse you. A truth that love, when aligned, does not require you to lose yourself. A truth that love, when destined, does not need to be chased. And as this story continues to unfold, you will begin to notice signs. Subtle at first, then impossible to ignore. Patterns, synchronicities, moments that feel guided rather than. Pay attention to them. They are not there to overwhelm you. They are there to guide you. Because you are closer than you think. Closer to understanding. Closer to clarity. Closer to a moment that will change how you see everything. And this is only the beginning of what I am about to reveal. And yet, even as you begin to sense the unfolding of this mysterious love, there is more beneath the surface, layers of truth that only reveal themselves when the heart is quiet enough to listen. For what is being written is not merely a story of union, but a transformation of perception itself. You have lived in a world that often celebrates the visible, what can be proven, displayed, and explained. But this love, the one I speak of, will not fully belong to that world. It will move through subtleties, through intuition, through moments that cannot be easily described to others. And this is where many become uncertain, not because the love is unclear, but because it does not match what they have been taught to expect. Understand this: what is sacred is rarely loud. It does not demand attention, yet it changes everything it touches. There will come a time when one of these souls begins to awaken first. A realization will dawn, not sudden like lightning, but gradual like the rising of the sun. They will begin to notice patterns, to feel a pull they cannot ignore. They may try to explain it away, to distract themselves, to return to what feels safe. But the more they resist, the stronger the awareness becomes. This awakening is not easy. Because to recognize a connection of this depth means also recognizing everything within oneself that is not aligned with it. Old fears will surface. Doubts long buried will rise again. Questions without immediate answers will linger in the mind. And here lies the quiet challenge, to continue forward without needing every piece of certainty in advance. The second soul, too, will feel the shift, but differently. Where one experiences clarity, the other may feel confusion at first. Where one moves toward understanding, the other may hesitate, unsure of what is happening within them. This difference in timing is not a flaw. It is part of the design. For if both awakened at the exact same moment, there would be no growth, no reflection, no deepening of awareness. It is in this temporary imbalance that each soul learns patience, trust, and the courage to remain open even when answers are incomplete. And you, as a witness to this message, may recognize yourself in one of these roles. Perhaps you are the one who feels deeply, who senses connections before they are spoken. Or perhaps you are the one who questions, who seeks understanding before surrendering to feeling. Neither is wrong. Neither is lesser. Both are necessary. As time continues, circumstances will begin to shift in ways that seem almost too precise to be. Paths that once seemed separate will begin to overlap. Opportunities for connection will appear, sometimes unexpectedly, sometimes in ways that feel almost orchestrated. But here is where many falter. They mistake the presence of possibility for a guarantee of outcome. They rush. They assume. They try to define what has not yet fully revealed itself. And in doing so, they create confusion where there was once clarity. So I tell you this now, clearly, and without illusion, not every moment of closeness is meant to be seized immediately. Not every opportunity is meant to be forced into definition. Some connections require space to breathe, to unfold naturally, without pressure or expectation. This does not mean inaction. It means awareness. It means knowing when to step forward and when to remain still. It means trusting that what is meant to grow will not disappear simply because you allowed it the time it needed. There will also be external influences, voices from the world around them. Friends, family, past experiences, societal expectations. Each will carry its own perspective, its own interpretation of what love should look like. Some will support. Some will question. Some will misunderstand entirely. And this, too, is part of the journey. Because a love that can only exist when validated by others is not yet strong enough to endure. What is being formed here must stand on its own truth, not on the approval of the outside world. This is why it will shock so many. not because it seeks to defy them, but because it does not depend on them. It simply is. There will be a moment, quiet, unassuming, when both souls begin to see clearly. Not just each other, but themselves. A moment when the confusion fades, when the fears lose their hold, when the past no longer dictates the present. And in that moment, something extraordinary happens. They choose. Not out of need. Not out of loneliness. But out of recognition. They see each other not as solutions to their problems, but as reflections of their truth. They understand that love is not about completion, but about expansion. And in choosing each other, they are not losing themselves, they are becoming more of who they truly are. This choice is the turning point. Because from here, everything changes. The connection deepens, not through intensity, but through consistency. Trust is built, not through promises, but through presence. And what once felt uncertain becomes something steady, something real. But even then, the journey does not end. For love, in its highest form, is not static. It evolves. It challenges. It refines. There will be moments of misunderstanding, times when old habits try to resurface, instances where patience is tested. But unlike before, these moments will not break the connection. Instead, they will strengthen it. Because both souls will have learned something essential, that love is not the absence of difficulty, but the willingness to move through it together. And as this becomes visible to others, as they observe the quiet strength, the mutual respect, the unwavering presence, it will begin to shift perceptions. People will start to question what they once believed about love. They will wonder why this connection feels different. They will feel drawn to understand it, even if they cannot fully explain it. Some will try to replicate it without understanding the depth required. Others will begin their own journeys of self-discovery, inspired by what they see. This is how transformation spreads, not through force, but through example. And this is why this love story matters. It is not just about two individuals finding each other. It is about reminding the world of what love can be. Not chaotic, but calm. Not uncertain, but clear. Not fleeting, but enduring. And you are not separate from this message. Whether you realize it now or later, something within you has already begun to shift. A perspective, a belief, an understanding. Perhaps subtle, perhaps profound. But it is there. You may find yourself becoming more aware of your own patterns, more conscious of what you accept and what you no longer wish to carry. You may begin to notice where you have settled for less than what your heart quietly knows is possible. It is the beginning of alignment. And alignment leads to clarity. Clarity leads to choice. And choice leads to transformation. So do not dismiss what you feel. Do not rush to return to old ways of thinking. Allow this message to stay with you, to unfold in your thoughts, to reveal its meaning in its own time. Because there is still more to come. More that has not yet been seen. More that will challenge, awaken, and transform in ways you cannot yet imagine. The story is still unfolding. The paths are still aligning. And the moment that will bring everything into focus is drawing closer with each passing breath. But you are not yet meant to see it all. Not yet. For what comes next will require not just your attention, but your readiness. And now, as the current of this revelation carries you deeper, you begin to sense that what once felt distant is no longer far away. The story is no longer something that will happen. It is something that is already in motion, already weaving itself into the fabric of your life in ways both seen and unseen. There is a sacred moment approaching, a moment that cannot be predicted by calendars or measured by time. It is not marked by a date, but by readiness. And readiness is not something you declare, it is something you become. You may wonder, how will I know? But listen closely, you will not need to ask that question when the moment arrives. Because recognition, in its purest form, does not create confusion. It dissolves it. There will be a stillness that settles over your thoughts. A quiet clarity that replaces the noise you once struggled with. The need to overthink, to analyze every word, every gesture, every possibility, will begin to fade. And in its place, something rare will emerge. Trust. Not blind trust, not forced belief, but a deep, grounded knowing that does not depend on constant reassurance. This is how true alignment feels. But before this moment fully reveals itself, there is one final layer that must be understood, one final truth that many overlook. Love, as powerful as it is, cannot thrive where truth is avoided. There are things within you that you have not yet faced completely. Not because you are unwilling, but because the timing was not right. Old wounds that have softened but not fully healed. Patterns that have weakened but not disappeared. Beliefs that linger quietly in the background, shaping your choices without your awareness. These must come into the light. Not all at once, not in a way that overwhelms you, but gently, honestly, and with compassion. Because the love that is coming into your life is not here to distract you from yourself. It is here to meet you fully. And to be met fully, you must be willing to see yourself clearly. There may be a moment, just before everything aligns, when you feel an unexpected heaviness. A resurfacing of doubt, or a memory you thought you had moved beyond. You may question whether you are truly ready, whether you are capable of holding something so real, so steady, so different from what you have known. Do not fear this moment. It is not a step backward. It is the final clearing. It is the release of what no longer belongs in the life you are stepping into. And once it passes, you will feel it. A lightness. A sense of quiet strength. A readiness that does not need to prove itself. This is when everything begins to shift. The meeting, whether physical, emotional, or spiritual, will not feel like an explosion. It will not disrupt your world in chaos. Instead, it will feel like something gently falling into place, as if a piece you did not realize was missing has returned. There may be a conversation, simple, almost ordinary on the surface, but beneath it, something profound will be recognized. Words will carry more meaning than they appear to hold. Silences will feel full rather than empty. Time itself will seem to move differently. Moments will stretch, deepen, become more vivid. And in this space, both souls will understand something without needing to say it: this is real. But even in this clarity, there will be a choice. Because destiny may bring two paths together, but it does not force them to be walked. Each soul must choose, freely, consciously, without fear. And this choice is not made in a single moment. It is made in small ways, again and again. Choosing to communicate honestly. Choosing to remain present. Choosing to trust, even when vulnerability feels unfamiliar. Choosing to grow, rather than retreat into old patterns. These choices, repeated over time, are what transform connection into something lasting. And as this love continues to deepen, something even greater begins to unfold. Its impact extends beyond the two who share it. It begins to touch others. Not through words, not through explanation, but through presence. People will notice a difference. A calmness. A steadiness. A sense of authenticity that cannot be imitated. And without fully understanding why, they will feel drawn to it. Some will feel inspired to reflect on their own lives, their own relationships, their own beliefs about love. They will begin to question what they have accepted, what they have settled for, what they have been taught to believe. Others may feel discomfort, not because this love is wrong, but because it challenges what they have known. It reveals possibilities they may not feel ready to face. And this is why it will shock the world. Not through drama. Not through spectacle. But through truth. A truth so simple, yet so often forgotten. That love, when it is real, does not take away your peace, it becomes it. And now, as you stand at the edge of this understanding, there is something you must carry forward with you. Do not look at this message as something separate from your life. Do not place it in the category of stories or possibilities. See it as a mirror. A reflection of what is already unfolding within you. Because whether you are one of the two souls described, or a witness meant to awaken through their journey, the message remains the same. You are not here to experience a lesser version of love. You are not here to repeat cycles that leave you questioning your worth. You are not here to chase what is not aligned with you. You are here to recognize, to align, and to receive what is true. And that truth is closer than you think. There will be signs, yes. Moments of clarity, yes. But more than anything, there will be a shift within you. A quiet confidence. A deeper sense of self. A knowing that no longer seeks validation from the outside world. This is how you will know that you are ready. And when readiness meets alignment, nothing is forced. Nothing is unclear. Nothing is uncertain. It simply unfolds. So as this message comes to its close, understand that it is not an ending. It is an opening. An invitation to step into awareness, to trust the process you cannot fully see, to release the fears that no longer serve you, and to remain open to a love that is already finding its way to you. Do not rush ahead. Do not fall behind. Remain present. Because everything you have been seeking is also seeking you. And when the moment arrives, when paths fully meet, when clarity replaces doubt, when love stands before you in its truest form, you will not need confirmation. You will not need reassurance. You will not need to ask if it is real. You will feel it, in the stillness of your heart, in the peace of your mind, in the quiet certainty of your soul. And in that moment, you will finally understand. Nothing was ever wasted. Every step, every delay, every question, was leading you here. To this love. To this truth. To this awakening. And now, it begins. Amen.